How's it going, everybody? Death Control here. I have some massive news for you. A huge glitch was just discovered in Donkey Kong Land, which is going to completely destroy the speedrun. In this video, I'm going to break down for you what the glitch is, our current understanding of how it works, and what implications this has for the run. I hope you enjoy the video. Now, I'm sure you saw the title and thumbnail for this video, so I'll get straight to the point. This new glitch allows you to gain a ton of extra height, making it possible to reach high up platforms which were previously inaccessible. We're probably going to end up just calling this a super jump, since there's a similar move in Donkey Kong Country 1 for the SNES, which also lets you jump super high, although the maneuver in this game works completely differently. Just a disclaimer at the start that this trick is brand new and I'm not a wizard of glitch hunting, so everything I explain here is based on my current understanding, and some things could change or be disproven as new discoveries are made. To set up the glitch, you start by pressing B to buffer a roll as you land from a jump, then press A exactly one frame after the B press. This will cause your jump input to get eaten. However, the game will still assign you some upward speed since it thinks you're trying to jump. This upward speed will get saved, and you now have a super jump stored. The next time you roll off a ledge, including if you reach a ledge with the initial roll, the upward speed will be applied and you'll go high into the air. Since you're rolling, you can still jump out of this roll for even more height. There are a few technical details to discuss in order to understand this trick, so let's take a look at how it works. Then we'll talk about how this is going to completely revolutionize the speedrun. Now, it's no secret that Donkey Kong Land is janky, and although it's not as technically complicated as another game I run, there are still a few interesting nuances to the basic mechanics which are helpful to understand. First, let's take a look at DK's landing animation. Whenever you jump and subsequently land back on the ground, you might notice that you go through this slow landing animation where DK's arms drop down before he starts running again. This also happens when you run off platforms, since the game considers this fall to be a jump. This landing animation is critical, as it's only possible to set up the glitch during the first few frames of the landing animation. If you're too early, you may get the buffered roll, but you won't get a super jump stored. If you're too late, you'll simply jump out of the roll. The timing window to set it up depends on jump height. Small jumps usually give more time, since the landing animation can start while still in the air on higher jumps. The only frame perfect part is pressing A exactly one frame after pressing B. However, what's important to know is that the landing animation does not occur after bouncing an enemy or getting blasted out of a barrel cannon, and it does not occur when you land on a sprite entity such as a moving platform. Therefore, super jumps cannot be initiated in these situations, only from normal jumps or falls landing on normal platforms. Another detail to be aware of is slow rolls, which for the sake of this video we don't need to fully break down, but the basic idea is that rolling is normally the same speed as running, except in certain situations where the roll is slow. The only thing that's relevant here is that rolls which are buffered from landing are always slow rolls. The horizontal speed of the roll transfers to the super jump, which means that if you take the initial roll directly into the super jump, you'll have less horizontal speed. If you need a full speed roll for your super jump, you have to set up the super jump separately and then roll again into the ledge. Note that super jumps always have the same height, regardless of whether the roll is slow or not, and regardless of when the ledge is reached during the roll. One other small detail to mention is that for some reason, this game does not let you jump out of a roll once you reach a certain downward speed. This situation is rarely encountered during normal gameplay or runs, but when super jumping, you'll only be able to jump out of the roll before or briefly after reaching the apex of the super jump. Also, everything mentioned here works exactly the same for Diddy, it's just that Diddy is mostly useless in this game, and ideally makes no appearance during the run. For anyone interested in investigating this with tools, I'll share my current understanding of how the memory variables work, but again, this information is preliminary and subject to change. The relevant memory addresses are 060A, which is your Y speed as assigned 2-byte variable, and 060C, which gets set to -1 when you jump, and goes back to 0 when your Y speed turns positive at the apex of your jump. These variables normally get set to 0 when you land, and minus 1824 and minus 1 respectively when you start a jump. When you initiate a super jump, these variables get set to their initial jump values, but since you don't actually jump, they aren't properly reset back to 0. Now, rolls are kind of weird because they don't actually reset your Y speed. This is why if you roll off a ledge and fall, then roll off another ledge, you don't float at all, but instead you drop like a rock. It's like your falling speed was transferred between the rolls. Now, if you instead have negative vertical speed when you roll off a ledge, that speed is applied and you go up instead of down. Because rolls normally have some float time, your downwards acceleration is reduced at the start, causing the roll to go higher than a normal jump. And since you're rolling, it's still possible to jump again mid-air. I messed with the variables a little, and I noticed that if you set up a super jump and then poke the Y speed 060A to 0 before super jumping, your speed somehow overflows and causes you to teleport to the top of the stage. This could be used to complete Deck Trek, Mountain Mayhem, or Oil Drum Slum in a matter of seconds. So if there was a way to set up a super jump and then just reset 060A to 0 without affecting 060C, that would be really useful. Out of curiosity, I also tried poking 060C to 0 before super jumping. When you do this, rolling off the ledge kills you instantly. I think it's some kind of camera kill. Now, it's easy to see that having access to an extra high jump has some serious implications for the speedrun. Most obviously, this will impact vertical stages where we can now use super jumps to reach the next level of platforms instead of zigzagging across. For example, there are a few specific places in Deck Trek where this can save several seconds if you can set it up quickly. In Rig and Rumble, you can super jump up over some of the rope climbing sections and simply run over them. This is very useful, as climbing across the ropes is quite slow and inconsistent. Unfortunately, the platform levels in Oil Drum Slum are just a bit too far apart to reach, but there is one spot in particular where they're close enough together to super jump up, saving a significant amount of time. However, the level that's impacted the most is undoubtedly Mountain Mayhem. The footage you're seeing is a task made by Tompa, which I don't have to add any extra commentary to because the level is completed that quickly. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to route RTA. There are some other small time saves, such as using a super jump to reach the bonus at the end of Pothole Panic, skipping the moving platforms, and saving a couple seconds, but that's about all the major stuff that's been found so far. The current top any percent runs are really optimized given game knowledge at the time. Half a second of time save in this game is a pretty big deal. We were investigating how to do these rope clips through the ceilings in Deck Trek and Rig and Rumble, which are pixel perfect, sub-pixel dependent, require one frame taps, and save only a handful of seconds. Unfortunately, we'll never have to grind runs using that because it's all obsoleted now. We thought sub 2910 might be close to the human limit for this game. We weren't sure if 28 was even possible. With super jumps, 28 should be free, and a high to mid 27 might even be possible. I'm really excited to see where the speedrun is going to go from here. Massive shoutouts to Tompa for discovering this with me. It wouldn't have been found without your help. It's awesome to be able to discover tech in games you run and be a part of the game's speedrun history. As of the release of this video, this tech is brand new, so there could very well be more to learn about how it works and how it can be used, and I have a lot of questions. For example, is there an easier way to set it up? Is there a way to use it from a moving platform entity so you can skip some of the auto-scrolling and track attack? Is there a way to reset the Y speed variable to allow upwarping? What other implementations could this have given our current understanding of how it works and what it's capable of? If you've watched the video this far and think this concept sounds interesting, fire up the game and see what you can find. It would be really cool to get some more eyes on this, because there isn't a huge community of people interested in this game, and when there are only a couple people looking, it's easy to miss stuff which in hindsight looks obvious. If there are any new developments, I'll mention it in the video description, and maybe make a follow-up video if something big is found. So let me know what you find. You can leave a comment here or reach out to me on Discord. I'm really excited to see what else is still out there. Thanks for watching.